So, welcome everyone to this informational session about Disciples Mission Week. This is a really exciting time for us, not just at DHM, but we feel pretty confident that this is going to generate a lot of excitement throughout the wider church. This is the kind of thing that people have been talking about and envisioning for a long time, the church getting together and just really being coordinated, comprehensive, and collaborative about mission. Just to give you a little bit of background information about it, the people here on the screen are from DHM, and we're the coordinating team. That you'll hear more about them soon. We have Dawn Barnes, who's our director for mission resourcing and development. Brian Frederick Gray, our director for justice and advocacy ministries. We have Derek Perkins, who is our director for congregational vitality and innovation, and then Menagerie Winston, who is our coordinator for ministry with youth and young adults. And then Megan is also affiliated with Disciples Home Mission. Megan Pegler is pastor of University Christian Church in Austin, Texas, but she's also a board member. So, and then Curtis Dixon is our communications coordinator. So Curtis is here as well. This is a long time coming. We would ask as we get ready to if you could mute yourselves if you're not speaking, go ahead and just mute yourself. That way we don't have any feedback or errant noises coming in. And if you have questions during the session, please go ahead and type them in the chat box. We'll also have time to answer any questions live. So along the way, if you hear something that someone says and you want to make sure you get your question in there, just go ahead and type it in the chat box. We have closed caption options. So Zoom offers the opportunity if you if you have trouble hearing or if you have auditory challenges, you can always enable the closed caption option. And if you need it in a different language, Zoom also does translation. So go ahead and enable the closed caption options if you need them. So thank you for joining us. Let's dive into talking about Disciples Mission Week.
And I'm going to go first and tell you a little bit
Wait,
about whoops.
wait 1 second, Megan. I need to describe exactly what the background is, and then I'll turn it over to you. Sorry. So Disciples Mission Week came about as we launched Disciples Mission Hub. So Disciples Mission Hub was launched last year as a way for us to provide opportunities for people to know where they can help, where they can volunteer, a way for people to understand about root causes associated with the kind of local missions projects that disciples congregations already engaged in, and then thirdly, just for us to be the body of Christ together, sharing ideas on how we do local missions, how we help others. So we launched it as a platform to bring disciples together. And it's actually been pretty successful. People go in, they join, they post volunteer opportunities, they post tips and ideas on how to get started. It's become a really central part of the way that we empower and inspire and connect congregations and individuals in local missions. Well, fast forward, as we really dove into it, we realized it would be great if we had an event, a day or a week for us to really highlight what congregations are doing in local missions and to educate people about the issues that we talk about on Disciples Mission Hub. And so we came up with this idea to do Disciples Mission Week. We're saying now that it's this year, but we hope that in the future this could be an ongoing thing. Our vision is that this is not a one-time thing. This may be something that we can do periodically, depending on how successful it is. But it's just a way for us to be to the body of Christ together. We've got 4 nights of webinars, we've got the volunteer day, and then we've got worship on Sunday. So what you're going to hear today is each of those broken out and described in a little bit of detail so you can understand what it's supposed to be like, what some of the resources are, and then you can share that with your congregation and with other people that you know. The first person to go is going to be Megan Pagler, who will tell us about the webinars and the education piece.
And I'm so excited to talk about it. I almost went too early. I was glad to help put these webinars together. Our hope is for these to raise some awareness and inform um, disciples about various issues going on in their communities and also spark some ideas for how we as disciples can respond to these issues and problems. I want to say quick thanks to the speaking group committee. It was Lane Beamer, KJ Kim, Becca Crevens, and Remy Shores. So we're going to kick it off Tuesday with the topic of food insecurity. This is going to feature Andrea Abel, who's the executive director of FarmShare. It's a local nonprofit here in Austin. They're focused on increasing community food access, so they do that in a lot of different ways. We'll have Reverend Dr. Heber Brown. He's the executive director of the Black Church Food Security Network, which is based in Baltimore, but they've got partners all across the country. And they focus on helping churches establish gardens on their land. They host farmers markets. They buy wholesale from Black farmers. And then we'll also have Edwin Marty in conversation on this panel. He's the food policy manager for the city of Austin. So this is going to be live streamed. All of these events will be live streamed, but this particular event will be hosted at my church. So if you happen to be in the Austin area or you know disciples in the Austin area, send them our way. On the very next night, Wednesday, the 9th, the focus will be on health equity, and we are blessed to have Reverend Dr. Starsky Wilson, who's the president and CEO of the Children's Defense Fund. They work a lot at the intersection of well-being and racial justice for children and youth. And their work is super relevant these days, especially with the recent cuts to SNAP and Medicaid. So that work overlaps with some of the other issues that we're talking about, and we'll see throughout the week how so many of these issues are intertwined. On Thursday, we'll hear from leadership at Heart of the Rockies Christian Church in Fort Collins, Colorado, about housing insecurity. They brought to life this wonderful housing development using their land and many partnerships with local nonprofits. And so we were really exciting to hear details of how that all happened. And then on Friday, the 11th, we'll hear about disability equity from Reverend Dr. Topher Indris. He's the author of Accompanying Disability, Reverend Dr. Milton Keyes, who is also an author. He wrote Finding My Place, a devotional about disability and the human experience. And another author, this is our really big author night, Reverend Dr. Sarah Lund, who has written a few different books, and she also has a forthcoming book called Blessed Hope 90 Daily Devotionals for Mental Health and Faith. So it's a quick look at what we will be learning about. It'll be wonderful to tune in every night or to watch the recordings if you can't watch them live. And that's it.
Thank you, Megan. A couple of other things to note about the webinars. They are free. There's no charge for them. You can easily sign up using the registration link, and we want people to share it in their congregations, in their networks. Send it out to your listservs and let people know that these webinars are absolutely completely 100% free. We're grateful that University Christian Church in Austin has agreed to underwrite much of it, especially the night that they're hosting. And we just really think that it's a good way for churches to learn about some of these deeper issues. We know that there are food pantries, there are clothing giveaways, there are housing assistance programs all over North America and disciples congregations. And this is a way for us to learn a little bit more about the background issues, learn what's happening all across the world and all across the country. And so we think these webinars are going to be a great way to learn about them. So thank you again, Megan, to your team for coordinating that. The second component that we have is the day of volunteering or day of service. And we're going to have Dawn Barnes talk a little bit about what that's like and what we plan to do with that. Dawn?
Good evening. It's good to be with everybody. Thank you all for joining us. And I just want to share a little bit about the Saturday opportunity on September the 12th. We are calling it the Saturday Day of Volunteering and Service for Disciples Mission Week. And this is where we're inviting congregations across our denomination to engage in volunteer opportunities or service projects. And this could be engagement in your congregation, with other local congregations, with your region, with partner agencies, or with DHM partners. This is an opportunity for us to put our faith into practice. So this could be something as small as gathering a group of volunteers to tidy up your sanctuary, or as big as organizing a community cleanup in your town. You could involve your youth group, your seniors, or both. You could partner with a local agency or establish a new relationship in your community with a local partner or agency. And we also have DHM partner sites that are offering volunteer opportunities throughout the US. We have several locations, and I'll just mention a few, but I will also drop the link into our website of the list of those. But there's Christ Mountain in North Carolina, All People's Community Center in California. Week of Compassion is offering a site in Houston, Texas, and there's more, and I'll drop that link just now for you. And if your congregation cannot participate on Saturday, September the 12th, we are very open to you to organize another day in September or another day in another month. We know some congregations are doing something for the whole month of September. They have too many things going on, so they're organizing throughout the month, or they're offering opportunities the week before or the week after September 12th. So that is totally flexible, and we welcome those opportunities as well. So, one of the most inspiring aspects of Disciple Mission Week is knowing that as disciples, congregations across the US and Canada, that we'll be acting together in faithful response to God's call. This day of volunteering and service reminds us that mission isn't simply something we just talk about, but we embody that through compassion and justice and love and service through this day of volunteering. And so, we want to be able to share those stories, your pictures and videos, and we want to celebrate what your congregation is doing in your local community with the entire church, with our whole denomination. So there is an opportunity to upload your ministries, your videos, your story, your all of the things that you want to share. There is a link on our website. I'll also drop that in that says tell us your plan is the button on our website. And if you fill that out, we'll send you a link to upload onto our Dropbox so that we can share that throughout our website and our social media. And one last thing we ask you to do is go and explore the Disciple Mission Hub that Chris mentioned earlier. It is a website, it's a portal, it's a hub where we want to share ideas, to share volunteer opportunities, to do a deeper dive into some of the issues that Megan mentioned around food insecurity and housing insecurity and healthcare and more. So we encourage you to go there and explore what is on the Mission Hub, because this will be the place that mission and service and volunteering and celebration will live on beyond Disciples Mission Week. This is the portal and the hub where these opportunities will live on beyond this week. I'll also drop that into the chat as well. So we look forward to seeing how God is going to shine the light from our scripture focus and from Isaiah. We'll see how God will shine the light in our communities in this week and beyond. So that is about Disciples Volunteer, and we welcome any questions. Feel free to email me. I'll put my email in the chat as well. So thanks. I'll pass it on to, I think.
Well, let me just add it. Hold on before you add on.
Sure.
So, just to cap off what Dawn said about the volunteer opportunity, think back to the old days of when we used to have the Miracle Day and within our church, where disciples would gather together and identify one place where they would just all get together. We're really just trying to reclaim this heritage that's been such a critical part of our disciples' history, and just inspire people and inspire a new generation of people to engage in this kind kind of community focus on service and volunteering. And that's what this day of volunteering is really about. We don't anticipate that we will solve all the world's problems on this one day, but we really think it could be a way of jumpstarting people's interest in doing this kind of work. One of the things I like to say is that in many of our churches, there's 3 or 4 people running the food pantry week in, week out, and they're really relying on those 2 or 3 people. This is a day for people to say, hey, don't forget, we do this every week. We would love it if you all would come out one day, and that becomes a way to get more volunteers committed to coming back. So this is what we're hoping to do. It isn't just about the day, but it's about re-inspiring people to engage in service and volunteering. We're grateful for a Week of Compassion, who is also helping to support this. We're grateful for Southwest Good Samaritan Ministries and all the other partners that have stepped forward and say, hey, we've got some work for people to do. We'll be a site for people to engage in. Um, I want to go ahead and pass it on to Derek to talk about our worship resources.
Greetings, everyone.
Oh, I'm so
Derek,
sorry. Sylvia, we'll come back to you as soon as we finish these. Sorry, I didn't mean to ignore your hand. Sorry, go ahead, Derek.
greetings, everyone. Derek Perkins. I currently serve as Director for Congregation Vitality and Innovation Emerging Staff for Disciples on Mission. I am excited about this week of opportunity of bringing the church together in covenant. And I'm also excited because the worship guide allows us an opportunity to think very deeply about what the scripture means for us, but it also provides an opportunity for us to celebrate what we've done together as disciples across the United States and Canada, and what we will continue to do in the area of mission. As I reflect on this opportunity, I'm reminded of a corporate fast, not simply one in which we abstain from our favorite foods and beverages and caffeine and desserts and more, or our sinful habits and ethics, but one in which we collectively commit ourselves to making a meaningful difference in the lives of our community. This vision is beautifully captured in Isaiah 58, 6 through 10, where God teaches true worship and fasting are not merely religious rituals, but practices that lead to justice, compassion, and care for others. With this idea in mind, a gifted planning team, which included Adam Harmon, Regional Minister of Christian Church in Georgia, Reverend Brenda Booth, Laura Phillips, Gabrielle Davis, and Reverend Daniel Livers, and a group of contributors from across the life of our church have collaborated to create this wonderful resource that could be used for worship on September 13th. We call it the Disciple Mission Worship Guide. This resource is designed to help congregations celebrate, reflect, and engage more deeply in God's mission. It includes an original interpretive artwork piece created specifically for Disciple Mission Week, liturgy that inspires and connects us to mission, storytelling, activities, and reflective questions for individuals and groups to study, words of hope and celebration, sermon starters and good scholarship, theological content, and worship resources. We will even have videos of children worship, wonder, and welcome that could be used, and a pre-recorded sermon by our own, the Reverend Christopher Dorsey, that will be linked to the worship guide very soon. We have practical tools that you could use, think about, and explore, not only for September the 13th, but even beyond. Beyond the amazing contributions, this resource also reflects you all, the diversity of our church. In addition to the contribution from many voices across our denomination, the guide has been translated into Spanish and Korean, making it accessible to even more disciple communities. I encourage you to download the worship guide today and start planning how your congregation will participate, celebrate, and reflect on the ways in which we're called to engage mission in our local communities. I encourage you all to use it as a tool that can help people grow in faith. Together, let us celebrate together what God has done, give thanks for what God is doing, and commit ourselves to what God is calling us to do next. We are disciples in mission, everyone, everywhere, in every need. Download the guide today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Derek. I just have to say, if you haven't seen the worship guide yet, please click on it. It is absolutely amazing. It's one of those things that when you envision what we were thinking about doing, we had an idea of what we wanted to create. And then based on what Derek is saying, the diversity of the voices that came together to produce it, produce something that is just that we're really quite proud of. And so much so, we believe that this is a format for us to use going forward with other events and other times that we want to inspire the church to gather in worship around certain issues, around certain topics. We just think it's a great format for us to use going forward. Many people don't know this, but the internet was created from the super colliding superconductor in Sweden. It came out of that. So this worship guide is going to be like the internet for us. We will take this and it will become a juggernaut within Discipledom because we will create more. Anyway, I'm just teasing. But we're excited about the worship guide. We're also excited about the fact that it is in Spanish and Korean. We were not able to do all of the languages of NAPAD and all the languages of our church. We also have French Creole, but we wanted to make sure that we at least made it at least accessible to as many people as we could this go around. And in future iterations, we will look at other language options. So thank you so much, Derek, for everything that you and your team did to bring the worship guide to fruition. Next up, we want to talk a little bit about the swag, as it's said, and items that can be purchased to sort of commemorate and mark this event. And I want to turn it over to Brian Frederick Gray.
Greetings, friends. So good to be with you all. So excited about Disciples Mission Week. And we do have new merchandise that we are making available. We have a wonderful new partner that we have started working with called Printful, who is able to do on-demand merchandise printing for us. What that means is that we don't have a whole bunch of boxes down in the basement in Disciple Center where we had to try to guess what color you liked and what t-shirt size you might like. But instead, we now have on the DHM website in our store the opportunity for you to pick between 4 different options of the shirts. And inside of those options, you get a multitude of sizes as well as a multitude of colors. And so we hope that you'll check it out. We hope that you'll consider having your whole congregation decked out. Maybe you all want to be there in the same color of your Mission Week t-shirt. Maybe you want to represent the fullness of diversity and you got a whole rainbow's worth of folks that are gathered there. I've thrown in the short link URL into the chat there for you, tinyurl.com/Mission Week merch. You're going to be able to find all of the shirts that are available there. And if it becomes popular enough, now that we've uploaded the design to our friends with Printful, we could also put it on other things as well. Check it out. Let us know what you think. And once you start wearing those t-shirts around, why don't you tag us and send a picture to us on social media as well? We'd love to be able to help get the word out about Mission Week. And one of the ways that we can do that is with these t-shirts and with this merchandise. Thank you all for everything you are going to do to help us live into this theme, everyone, everywhere, every need. It's literally written across the front of each one of those shirts as well. Grateful for all of you.
Thank you so much, Brian. I also want to say that we provide these. We're not making any money off of these t-shirts. I want to be clear that we lowered the price to what the company is actually charging for it. So there's no upcharge to the church. We just want people to be able to afford them, to get them. You do have to pay for postage and handling and to the company, but we don't get a dime for this. We just really want to make sure that people have the opportunity to get high quality merchandise that represents and celebrates this Disciples Mission Week. So thank you for helping us get that set up, Brian. Next, we want to talk about the thing that is really driving all that we do these days, for better or for worse. We want to talk about our social media kit and the other resources online. And to do that, we have our resident young person and leader of our youth contingent, Menagerie Winston.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. I just want to take a couple of minutes to highlight one of the resources that I'm extremely excited about, and that is our congregational social media kit. That can be found on disciplesmissionhub.org under resources for Disciple Mission Week. Now, it was created to make it easy for churches of every size to tell their story of how they're participating in Disciples Mission Week. One of the things we know is that ministry does not just happen in the building anymore. People experience the church through stories that we share. And social media gives us an opportunity to inspire others, celebrate what God is doing, and invite people into the work of serving their communities. The kit is intentionally simple. You don't have to be a communications expert. It includes ready-to-use social media posts before Mission Week, invitations to your community, day of service posts, Sunday celebration posts, volunteer appreciation messages, and ideas for short videos and reels. Most of it is already written for you. You simply personalize it with your congregation's information, and you are ready to share. One thing I'd especially encourage all of us to keep in mind is volunteering with dignity.
Don't you take your hair out and wash it.
As we are taking volunteering with dignity, as we are taking pictures and videos, let's remember that our goal is to never showcase someone's hardship. Our goal is to honor people's humanity. Ask permission before taking photos, especially of children and people serving. Capture moments that show relationship, collaboration, and community. Show volunteers serving alongside their neighbors rather than creating images that unintentionally reinforce stereotypes or take away from someone's dignity. We want every photo and every video to reflect the love, respect, and mutuality that is at the heart of our faith. So while on the resource page, I encourage you to look beyond the social media kit. You'll find the congregational planning checklist to help your church prepare, a generic photo and volunteer release forms, and frequently asked questions section that answers many of the common questions. Those resources are there so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can spend more time focusing on ministry and less time figuring out those logistics. We have done that for you. Our hope is that these resources remove barriers and make it easier for every congregation to participate in Disciples Mission Week, no matter your size or experience. Download them, use them, adapt them to your context, and most importantly, tell your story. We want the wider church to see the incredible ways God is moving through your congregation, and together we live into this year's theme, everyone, everywhere, and every need. Thank you all, and I look forward to hearing all the stories.
Thank you so much, Menagerie. I just want to take a moment of what they say is personal privilege and just express how grateful I am for the entire team at DHM. As you can see, I get to work with some of the most amazingly talented, gifted people, and I'm just so grateful that you all have seen that on display here. From the webinars to the day of volunteering, to the worship materials, to the social media kit and the swag. A lot of time and energy has gone into this. We are all in at DHM to make sure that this goes off well. And it's for the entire church. This isn't about DHM. This is about the entire church. And that's the thing that we're most excited about. So the one thing that I will punctuate in terms of the social media kit, what Menagerie said is absolutely true. We want to emphasize using the resources to make your own postings, but also send us your pictures so that we can celebrate you as well. Our plan is once Disciples Mission Week is over, we want to be able to feed back to the church all those things that have happened across the life of the church. And we want to be able to feed that back to the church from now until next year. And so the more you can communicate to what you're doing, the more we can highlight what our churches are doing all across North America. We are, unfortunately, the best kept secret in most of our communities. We don't want to keep that secret. We want to be able to shout from the rooftops what our congregations are doing. And so there's a drop box that will be there for you to place photos, pictures, videos, or whatever. And don't think that you need to do it all. Send us a picture. We'll turn it into a quick reel and highlight it for you. So whatever you give us, we will make use of it. So thank you all so much. I want to go ahead and turn it over to you all to answer any questions that you might have, comments you might have, whatever you want to share. This is the time for us to engage and to answer any questions you might have. We tried to answer some of them in the chat box, so if we didn't get to all of them, feel free to ask them now. Yes,
My
Sophia.
question was already answered. I just wanted to know how are we gonna know? Because I'm already like wanting to know what else is everybody else is doing it. Um, thank you. So much organization, so much time was put into this, and I so much appreciate every one of you.
No problem, Sylvia. And we are asking people. So some people are telling us, either putting in the Dropbox or just telling us word of mouth. Over the next several days and few weeks, we're going to be sharing ideas and tips based on real examples of what people are doing in their community. So stay tuned for that. You will be hearing more ideas for people to engage in. Any other questions? Hey, Sakina, I see you. I see you dropped in. Thank you, Global Ministries, DOM. Okay. Anything else, Dawn? Any other announcements? We wanted to make sure, like I said, we didn't want to take up too much of your time, but we thought this would be a good way for just to have some uh, in face-to-face engagement. One of the things that we've discovered is that when we go out and talk about this in churches, people's eyes and their face light up, and they want to engage and hear sort of in-person dialogue about this. And so we really wanted to create this opportunity for you all to just hear us talk about it and hear how excited we are about it. So thank you all for making time. Oh, the same link for replay. Thank you, Teresa. We will have a different link. It won't be the same link that you signed up for. We're going to do a couple of things. We'll post the entire video out there so anyone can access it. We're going to probably edit out this part, but we'll post the entire video out there. And then we're also going to take what we've shared here and turn it into smaller bite-sized reels. So we'll take the volunteer portion and we'll run that on social media. We'll take the webinar portion, we'll run that. So you'll see the entire link will be available on the disciplesmissionweek.org website, but then also across social media, we'll be posting. Marcia, yes, absolutely. So there'll be new links for the webinars. The webinars, to sign up for the webinars is a slightly different process. If you go to the disciplesmissionweek.org website, you'll see the links for you to sign up for the actual webinars. And when you register for the webinars, you're asked a little bit more information. You get to choose which webinars you want to participate in. There's 4 of them, but it's the one form. You identify which of the 4 that you want, or all 4 of them. And then about a week before, we'll send out the actual Zoom links for the webinars at that time. So go to the website, sign up or register for it. Again, it's absolutely free. And then you will get a different link for each of the webinars that will be happening. That's an excellent question, Marcia. So thank you. The last thing that I want to say is we just want you all to get the word out. Let people know. We have, I don't know, probably close to 60, 70 people just in the first week that we started registering the webinars. So this thing is really taking off and people are signing up for the webinars. And we anticipate we're going to have a lot more before time is Oh, thank you, Marcia. And before time is up, but go ahead and share the information with as many people as you can so that we can get everybody signed up. Yeah, we will be able to share the webinar links with others in the congregation. That's an excellent question, Connie. What we're going to do is we want to make sure that the webinar link goes out, but we don't want to create a barrier. So, for instance, I'll give you an example. We do have one congregation that has said that they plan to watch the webinars together. And so we want to make sure that, again, since they're free, we're not trying to limit people's access to it. The sign up part is just so that we can make sure we get the information out to everybody who requests it. And then once the webinars are public, they'll be able to share them with others. We're not going to make them restricted so that people can't access them. But that's a good question.
But some congregations are doing watch parties. So some congregations are gathering in their congregation and are going to show the webinar in the same space. Some people are talking about having, appetizers and food at the food insecurity and doing different things for each of the evenings. So if one person signs up for that link, that would be able to share with that congregation on that evening if you have a watch party in your congregation.
Correct. And I'm going to let the cat out of the bag a little bit. Megan said that one of the webinars will be filmed at her church in Austin, Texas. We are also looking at the possibility of at least two of the other webinars being hosted at congregations, one in Colorado and then one here in Indianapolis. And so the idea is that we may have, it won't be a big live studio audience. It's not going to be like the Oscars or something like that, but we may have a different kind of energy in the room by hosting these webinars in live spaces. All right. So thank you all again so much for being here. Thank you for taking time out of your Thursday evening. And thank you all for signing up. If you've already signed up, oh, great. Thank you so much, Marcia. And so thank you all for signing up. Don't forget to spread the word, and we will see you all in September online. Good night, everybody.